What's up, y'all? This is your boy Jax, and welcome back to the Drop That Podcast. Right now, on this episode, we're going to get into fight talk. If you were tuning in this past Saturday for UFC 297, you witnessed two title fights. Raquel Pennington defeating Mayra Bueno Silva for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship, and Dricus du Plessis defeating Sean Strickland for the UFC Middleweight World Championship. I'll get with Pennington and Bueno Silva first. First of all, my pick did not win. I was picking Bueno Silva. She looked more dangerous, but it turns out that experience just was the key factor. You know, I noticed over the years Pennington didn't listen to her corner. She just went there like a renegade, whatever. I think it was the same reaction this fight, but I think what won the fight was that she capitalized on all of the mistakes that Bueno Silva was performing. You know, she gassed herself out around the second, third round, and it was just stream sailing right there for Raquel Pennington. So kudos to her. 10 years in the UFC, coming from the Ultimate Fighter, being a protege of Miesha Tate, was able to pull off the unstoppable and the impossible and claimed her first UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship. So kudos to her. Kudos to Raquel Pennington. Congratulations. She earned it. And getting into Dricus du Plessis, I mean, you know what? Before I get into Dricus du Plessis, let me talk about what's next for Pennington. She called out Juliana Pena, the former women's bantamweight champion, former Ultimate Fighter winner, the Venezuelan Vixen. There you go. That's her nickname. She's dangerous. She's got great ground game. She got great strikes. She the first fight with Amanda Nunes, she finished her via submission, and she was supposed to get this title shot, but she was injured. Now we got a clear-cut challenger. Pennington versus Pena is 10 years in the making, apparently. They go back to the Ultimate Fighter. If nobody knows about the Ultimate Fighter, it's like a reality show that builds you up in a tournament to win the championship. To win the tournament to be the Ultimate Fighter and get I think it's a 5 or 6 figure contract with the UFC. But you all the competitors, this team and that team, fighting against each other, all got to be under the same roof. You know, so it's kind of like a building of Jersey Shore, just fights, and problems, but you can't fight in the house. And they're not allowed to have their cell phones for how many weeks they're there, but if it's 3 to 6 weeks. So it's kind of crazy, and that's how far it goes back. So there's some history on it. In this division, Mr. Dana White, UFC president, also announced the new signee to the UFC, former PFL world champion Kayla Harrison, also Olympic gold medalist in judo. You could say she's the Hulk version of Ronda Rousey, but she comes with strikes. I guess PFL didn't have the check to cut Kayla Harrison to re-sign her. Now she's going with the big leagues and everything, and her debut fight coming UFC 300, which was recently announced by Dana White, against the former UFC bantamweight champion Holly Holm, the one who did the fucking hurl kick around the world on Ronda Rousey and claimed that title 10 years ago. Yes, it's Kayla Harrison versus Holly Holm at UFC 300. UFC 300 is looking extra fucking spicy. Hold the chile up in the poom poom. Yo, it's getting crazy. I can't wait for that fight. And there's so much shit and so many competitors that can challenge the winner of this. I mean, if Kayla could weather the storm. You got the winner of Pennington versus Pena. Shit. And there's some rumors that Amanda Nunes is coming out of retirement after not even one fucking year. But I think she's coming back for a super fight, not a title. She already claimed the title. She's defended it multiple times. I don't think she needs that. But I'm super stoked. Kayla Harrison, this is nothing but fucking contenders at 135. I'm curious to see how she could perform at 135 since she's been performing at 155 in the PFL. Holy shit. Cutting down 20 pounds? Oh, let's see. I hope it doesn't affect her in any way with that weight cut. But I expect that'll be a great match. We'll get into PFL right after this. Let's get into Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis. Everybody's talking about, this fight was never supposed to go to the distance. It was a robbery. Sean Strickland won. Look at the strikes and everything like that. Okay, I'll give you that. All 5 rounds. A lot of strikes for Sean Strickland. That jab was fucking masterful. I give you that. A lot of strikes. But who the fuck are you when you're judging this? Are you judging this based on punches? Then you need to take your ass to boxing. This is mixed martial arts. MMA. Everything is mixed. Whether if it's boxing, wrestling, judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, taekwondo. Everything is mixed in here. You know what I mean? Collegiate wrestling. Everything is fucking mixed. So when you look at the point scale, it's a little bit different when you talk about it. Because, yes, as far as punches go, Strickland was doing his thing. I give you that. 100% I give you that. I was even frustrated with Dricus. I thought he was coming, gonna come forward and hit and strike. He couldn't land. So, but you gotta look at the body shots. Dricus was getting it. You gotta look at the kicks. Dricus was getting it. The takedowns. Dricus was getting that. That's 3 compared to your 1 striking point system. So, not being objective and not biased, even though I was going for DDP, I had to watch the fight again. And I scored it differently when I watched it because obviously it's the heat of the moment, but I scored it this time. Sean Strickland, rounds 1 and 5. Clearly. Dricus, I gave him 2, 3, and 4. There you have it. Get your head out of your ass, watch the fight again. We have a new UFC middleweight champion. What could happen next? You never know. Maybe Khamzat Chimaev, but Khamzat Chimaev don't deserve it. He struggled to beat Kamaru Usman. Izzy, I think there's a lot of backstory to that, and that'll be a great fight. But I don't see DDP being ready for UFC 300 in 3 months. No, guy went through a war. Before we go, let's talk about PFL versus Bellator updated fights. Bellator has a record of beating Rizin MMA in 2 tournaments. Clearly. Even sweep them in 1. I got Bellator beating PFL come next month. And we're going to dig more into that next month. Okay? PFL Bellator, February 24th in Saudi Arabia. Riyadh season is fucking going down. But that's our episode. I'm your boy Jax. This is the Drop That Podcast. You can find us on youtube.com/@DropThatPodcast. Boom! Hit that subscribe button and talk that shit. I'm turning on the comments. Bring it on. Come on, let's debate. Let's have the conversation. If you disagree, we can agree to disagree, or I can fucking convince you otherwise. Also, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, @DropThatPod_13, where we talking more shit than you can ever imagine. But till then, I'm your boy Jax. You guys have a good one.